Hello everyone, welcome to Real Class. My name still remains MA Ido. So this time we are looking at antonyms because in our last class we discussed synonyms, which is nearest in meaning. But this time we are looking at opposite in meaning, and that's what we mean by antonyms. So we talk about the following words and they are most nearly opposites. Now, purchased. When you purchase something, you buy the thing. So the opposite is sold. All right? The opposite of purchased is what? Sold. You can hear me, right? Yes, that's that. If you're an alcoholic, it means that you are someone that loves alcohol. All right? You drink alcohol a lot. Then the opposite is an abstainer. All right? Or a teetotaler. So you can have an abstainer here. All right? An abstainer. That means you normally would abstain from drinking alcohol. Okay, so we now talk about encourage. If you are not encouraged in a particular situation, then you are dissuaded. All right, you are not persuaded, you are dissuaded, or you are discouraged. All right, from doing that which you want to what do. All right, then outspokenness. If you are outspoken, then you are very vocal. All right, you are vocal. Then the opposite of outspokenness right now is taciturnity. All right, or you call it reticence. All right, that means you don't talk. Okay, you don't talk. So that's that. Now, we talk about outspokenness here. All right, taciturnity, reticence. Okay, that's the opposite of outspokenness. Or you talk about mute, to be mute. That's the opposite of outspokenness. Then you talk about rural. All right, I prefer to stay in rural areas. What's the opposite of rural area? That's it's going to be urban area. That's city. Rural area means countryside, the village. Okay. Then the opposite will be what? Urban. Okay. Then you talk about crude. If you are crude, for example, I don't like Bola, she's too crude. When you are crude, that means you are unrefined. All right. Then the opposite will be what? Refined. Why Bolanle is crude? Her friend is refined. Okay. Yes. So you are a refined gentleman as opposed to crude. Natural. All right. When your beauty is not natural, then it is what? Artificial. If your beauty is not natural, then it is artificial. All right. Yes. Something natural is something that is created. All right. Original. All right. Yes. The way it is, the way you were brought to this natural world or to this world exactly. All right. But if it is now man-made, it becomes artificial. Then respect. If you do not respect someone, then you treat the person with scorn or disrespect, okay, or disdain. All right. So that's that. Then if something is no longer in existence, what do you think is going to happen to the thing? The thing has gone into extinction. So the opposite of existence is what? Extinction. All right. So that's that. Then the exterior part means the outer part of something. All right. Exterior part of a building is the outer part. Then the interior means what? The inner part. So the opposite of exterior is interior. All right. So if you are saying interior decoration, you mean internal decoration, not external decoration. Then you talk about exhume. When you exhume, what does it mean? To remove dead body from the ground. That's exhume. So the opposite is inhume. Don't forget, if you don't want to use the word bury, okay, you can use inhume. So you can use bury or use the word inter. All right. So you can exhume the remains of someone. Hope you know that another word for dead body is remains. So that remains must carry S. So that's why you hear people say the remains of Mr. Okoro has been deposited in the mortuary. That means the dead body. It's another word for dead body. Remains, corpse. But don't forget that that remains must carry S. If it does not carry S, it doesn't mean dead body. Okay? So that's that. You talk about rewarded. If someone is not rewarded, then you punish the person. All right? Somebody is rewarded because of what he has done, all right, in a very good way. Then if you are not rewarded, then get ready to be punished. All right? Because reward, normally we know it to take a positive language, all right? Then punished takes a negative dimension. They talk about sober, all right? To be, not to be cheerful is what? To be sober. To be in a crying or melancholic mood. All right? Then if you are not sober, then what? You are cheerful. All right? Yes. Cheerful. Then another word for what? Sober is what? Moody. All right? You can have sober, moody. All right? Then the opposite will now be what? Cheerful. All right? So we continue with the antonyms in our. All right, welcome back. We are still looking at antonyms, which is most nearly opposite. All right, so we have the following words: ruthless. Number one, if you are ruthless, you are inconsiderate. All right, you are inhumane. All right, okay. So the opposite of ruthless means to be what? Humane. Then considerate. Okay, yes. Then we look at vain. You are aware that when you are vain, okay, you are proud, you are vainglorious, okay, yes, you have uppity lifestyle, means you are very proud. So the opposite means is what? To be humble or modest. To be humble. The opposite of vain is humble or what? Modest. Okay, then ascend, all right, means to rise. Then the opposite will now be what? Descend, to come down, all right, from the top. Okay, yes. So the opposite of ascend, if something does not ascend, what happens? It must descend. All right, so you have a descend. Okay, so that's that. Okay, yes. Then we talk about scarcity. If something is not scarce, then it is buoyant. So scarcity is buoyancy. All right, you have a buoyancy. All right, yes. Then we talk about presumptuous. Are you aware that presumptuous also means proud? All right, if you are proud, all right, the word for it is still presumptuous. Then the opposite will now be what? Modest too. It's more or less like a vain. Modest or what? Humble. All right, then if something snowballs, what does it mean? It increases. The word snowball means increase. Poverty has snowballed in Nigeria. That means poverty has increased. So snowball means increase, right? So the opposite is what? Decrease or decline or diminish. Then you talk about opulence. If you say opulence, what does it mean? It means wealth. Opulence means wealth. Okay, this word opulence, it means wealth, right? uh to be well to do. So the opposite will now be poverty. All right, so that's that. Or austerity. Then you talk about famous. If you are not famous, if you are famous, what does it mean? It means you are recognized very well for something good. All right, then the opposite will now be what? Notorious. Okay, the opposite of famous is notorious. So you cannot be famous for something what? Bad. You can't say it's a very famous armed robber. No, it's a notorious armed robber. All right? Then offend. Offend. To anger someone. All right? Yes. To make someone to be angry with you. All right? Then if you do not offend someone, what happens? The opposite will now be to placate, to pacify the person or calm. All right? The opposite of offend is placate or pacify. Okay, then if something is rigid, it is strong, like our rigid constitution. The constitution of every federal system of government is said to be rigid. Okay, then the opposite will now be what? Flexible, as we find in, a unitary constitution, having a flexible constitution that is not strong. Okay, so whatever is what? Rigid is strong anyways, and the opposite will now be what? Flexible. Then we talk about something weighty. If something is weighty, it has weight, of course. Then the opposite will now be what? Light. All right? Yes, the opposite will now be light. Something is not weighty, it is light. To take off means to start going by aeroplane. All right? If a plane takes off, then it's already going to wherever it wants to go. All right, then the opposite means what? To land. Okay, so that's that. In our next video we look at some other antonyms.